We are finally receiving our first major update of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. This update is going to be like a quality of life update, and we're getting ready for Season 1, and this is what that update is for. Quality of life updates are honestly no different than any other update. They're just working on stability, fine-tuning different things, game modes. They're literally no different than any other update. I'm going to be reading a lot of things off the screen here, so forgive me for not keeping my eye on the camera at all times. To start off, we're not too sure the size of all of the updates at this point in time, but I'll make sure to drop it down in the comments or the description somewhere so that y'all can get an idea. Starting December 8th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all the way until the start of Season 1. For just logging in, you're going to be receiving 2 bundles. The first one is going to be the Field Research Bundle. You're going to get an epic operator skin, the Park, an epic SMG weapon blueprint, an epic reticle, epic calling card, and a rare weapon charm. On top of that, you're going to get a certified bundle. Again, this is all for free for literally just logging on. You're going to get the operator skin Garcia, a rare assault rifle weapon blueprint, and yes, blueprints are coming back, super cool, an epic reticle, and an epic weapon charm. We're also receiving again another double XP, another double weapon XP as well, and this is going to be starting on December 12th all the way until the launch of Season 1. This playlist is going to be called the Motherland Mosh Pit. This is going to be featuring TDM, Domination, Kill Confirmed, Hardpoint on Moscow, and Crossroads Strike. Hardcore Motherland Mosh Pit will also be available. And then unfortunately, we're seeing NUKETOWN 84 leave our 24/7 playlist, but you'll still be able to play it in any normal game mode. We'll also be seeing the 24/7 playlist return back in Season 1, which is coming up really fast. It's literally only like a week or so. So not bad at all. For global fixes, we're going to be seeing stability fixes. They've added crash fixes related to ray tracing on next-gen consoles. I am so happy about that, playing on my PS5. And overall general stability improvements. For progression, they've addressed an issue where prestige levels and prestige icons could display inaccurately in lobby menus. This happens to like everybody. I'm glad they're finally addressing this. They addressed an issue where the Prestige 1 icon could display in place of the Commander rank icon in the After Action report. And then regarding the UI, or the user interface, they addressed multiple issues for breadcrumbs appearing incorrectly throughout lobby menus, and addressed an issue where the reward animation could sometimes appear corrupted in the After Action report. So far, some good updates for this being the first major update. Now moving on to multiplayer for our playlist. Again, we are getting that Motherland Mosh Pit that's coming at the start season, or December 8th. For our progression for camos, they've addressed an issue where mastery camos were not properly progressing for some players despite being earned. Now this is a huge thing that needs to be fixed. I'm very happy about this. And they've reduced the number of kills without dying from 3 to 2 for launcher and M79 camo challenges. Very cool. Now in regards to game modes, they've changed a good bit of stuff. Jumping into hardpoint on checkmate, they adjusted spawns for zones 1, 3, and 4, and we'll see that at the start. We have no idea what they're going to be just yet. And they resolved an issue where the hardpoint could be captured behind a crate on zone 4. For garrison hardpoint, zone 1 adjusted to provide more balanced cover for both teams, and they adjusted spawns for zones 2 and 3. For Crossroads Strike, they adjusted spawns for all hardpoint zones, which is crazy. They've moved zone 4 to the adjacent tents to provide more opportunities for the attacking team. For Moscow, they removed spawns near back statue for zone 3. And then moving on to control, for Moscow, they adjust attacker spawns to reduce travel times to objectives, and additional attacker spawns added closer to min-map when B has been captured. Now for Miami, the worst map in this game by far, they added adjacent attacker spawns to reduce travel time to objectives, and they did the same for checkmate. For Fireteam Dirty Bomb, there is a ton of changes here. For the overall gameplay, they reduce spawn protection time to reduce frequency of protection, nullifying explosives, example the War Machine, for extended periods of time. They address an issue where players could collide when redeploying from a squad wipe. Addressed an issue where players could land on each other and die if they waited until they were auto-deployed during infill. They also addressed an issue where players could get stuck by mantling in certain spots on Alpine, and addressed an issue where containers could spawn inside of objects. Now, still on Dirty Bombs here, for Scorestreaks, they reduced spawn rates of the gunship, chopper gunner, and VTOL escort. And they addressed an issue where the cruise missile HUD effects could be seen in the redeploy menu. For vehicles, they addressed an issue where the pinned could exit the playable space in Alpine. The HUD, they addressed an issue where dust and threat perception effects could display on the overhead camera. And for party invites, they addressed an issue where party invites in Fireteam Dirty Bomb, and that's all they mentioned. I didn't really play Dirty Bombs, but I'm sure that some of y'all understand that. For combined arms, they adjusted the interact radius on mounted turrets to be easier to get into. We don't need that, honestly. They just need to take turrets out in general. I hate the turrets. Thankfully, not many people use that, but that could be changing in this. For custom games, they added options in custom game score streak settings for score reset on death and score streak death penalty, allowing players to set the percentage of score lost on death from 0%, so you're not losing anything, to 100% that you've lost everything on death. For round-based modes, they addressed an issue where players could be kicked for inactivity while spectating in round-based modes. Moving on to weapons. For visuals, they added polish to visual kickback when hip firing weapons. For the the 77, the shotgun, the pump shotgun, you guys know what I mean. They adjusted the animation with that weapon when firing the last shot while aiming down sights. For launchers, they addressed an issue where launchers could lock onto stationary turrets in combined arms. I didn't know that that was an issue. I thought that was purposeful, to be honest. For optics, they addressed an issue that could prevent thermal scopes from showing a thermal overlay when riding a vehicle. Now, we still have a good bit to go through. Thank you guys for hanging on if you made it up to this point. Moving on to score streaks. For the care package explosions will no longer damage teammates in hardcore. For the combat bow, they addressed an issue where the tactical mask icon would incorrectly display when damaging enemies with the combat bow. For the cruise missile, they addressed an issue where damaging a cruise missile would not display a hit marker. For the VTOL escort, they addressed an issue with the VTOL escort camera when it would be destroyed from going out of bounds. And for the chopper gunner will now follow its correct shorter path on Crossroads Strike instead of its wider path from combined arms. For maps, starting with Crossroads, parachutes can now be activated where applicable in all modes in Crossroads. They added a unique 6v6 intermission camera on Crossroads Strike. For Armada, parachutes can now be activated where applicable in all modes in Armada. For Garrison, they addressed an issue where one of the explosive barrels would never detonate in Garrison. Now moving on to field upgrades. For the trophy system, the trophy system will now destroy incoming trophy systems. They addressed an issue where the trophy system occasionally would not destroy incoming projectiles. And they addressed an issue where shooting your own trophy system could show enemy infantry hit markers. The assault pack will now be destroyed if an enemy uses it. For the field mic, addressed an issue where a player could earn double score events if two field mics were overlapping. Moving on to general fixes. For the vehicles, they added a helicopter aiming mode option. They addressed an issue where the camera could clip through the player's head when switching from driver to passenger while aiming down sights in the vehicle. They addressed an issue where players could spawn with corrupted animations if their squad spawned onto a dirt bike as a passenger. Now moving on to general. For stability, they fixed a rare crash that could occur when a player was dismembered by an explosive. For finishing moves, general cleanup and bug fixes for finishing moves. And they address an issue where performing finishing moves on enemies while being down would not count towards the Stone Operator Unlock challenge. For gestures, they added voiceover to first-person gestures. For mouse and keyboard, they addressed an issue where jump and mantle were bound to the mouse wheel. They addressed an issue where move navigation in theater, or with the move navigation in theater. They addressed an issue with mic status icon not displaying properly in the party tab. They addressed an issue with voice chat volume setting functionality, and they improved mouse rotation controls for weapon inspect. For audio, they addressed an issue where a character's expert audio for a weapon melee could be delayed. For miscellaneous, they addressed an issue where players would not immediately be killed when being down while in water. Now moving on to zombies, we're getting to the end of it finally. For general progression, they addressed an issue causing progress on the Trapper challenge to get stuck at 255. They addressed an issue that caused incorrect mastery camo progression information to display. They addressed an issue where incorrect prestige icons could display in zombies menus. And they addressed an issue that sometimes caused the player's primary weapon camo to appear on a knife equipped as a secondary weapon. For the combat record, they addressed an issue with incorrect engagement range data for some weapons for zombies. Killing blows will now register properly for zombies in combat records, and elite eliminations will also now register properly for zombies in combat record. For UI regarding zombies, they addressed issues where text overlapping or extending outside the panel in the Intel menus. They addressed issues with 3D models not properly orienting in Intel menus. And they addressed an issue where additional creative class slots were not appearing in the zombie lobbies or PlayStation platform. Now moving on to Die Machine. For stability, they just had a few stability fixes. For Intel, they added new Season 1 Intel to discover in Die Machine. For gameplay, they closed various exploit areas. They addressed an issue that sometimes caused zombies to get stuck inside a spawn location. They addressed an issue that caused zombies to incorrectly use their ranged attack in specific locations. They addressed an issue that caused zombies to path incorrectly when decoys were used in specific locations. They addressed an issue that caused the incorrect floor on the minimap from appearing after spectating. Lastly, for gameplay, they addressed an issue that caused shadows to appear incorrectly on a quest character when viewed with the flashlight. For weapons, they addressed an issue that caused ammo to be incorrectly deducted from the DIE Electrobolt while using the Aether Shroud. They addressed an issue that caused the incorrect weapon rarity to appear for the player's weapon after respawning. They addressed an issue that caused the duplication of weapons using the arsenal under specific circumstances. For trials, they addressed an issue that caused the take damage and recovery health trial from granting progress when recovering the bonus health granted by Juggernog. They also addressed an issue that prevented a specific trial from granting a reward. For Mystery Box, they addressed an issue that prevented some weapons from appearing in the cycle animation when using the Mystery Box. For the main quest, they addressed a rare issue that could cause the main quest from progressing at the decontamination step. For pinging, they addressed an issue that caused incorrect icons to display when pinging certain weapons. For audio, they addressed an issue that could prevent certain voiceover lines from playing. And for UI, they addressed an issue that could occur where the pause menu could not be closed when interacting with the arsenal. And they addressed an issue that caused a mix of visual effects from different ammo mods to display when navigating the skills menu. For the Dead Ops Arcade, they added various stability fixes. For the gameplay, they added Room of Judgment event. They added various enemy AI tuning changes, and they added various weapon tuning changes. For the general, for Dead Ops Arcade, they added host migration, and they added options to turn off various UI elements and features. Last, but certainly not least, the Onslaught. For both PS4 and PS5, they added new Season 1 intel to discover in Onslaught. For gameplay, they added various enemy patching fixes and addressed a rare issue that could cause a reducted perk to be granted from power-ups. And for PC, they added stability fixes and addressed an issue where text wrapping in window mode would happen, and an issue that could cause a blurry screen from in-video when using a sniper scope. Now that is all of the fixes that we have. I'm saying that like there wasn't 30,000 fixes. There is a lot. Like I said, this is the first big update of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Hopefully this doesn't cause more issues with this update, and I would assume this update is unfortunately going to be a good, decent size. But anyways, let me know what y'all think of it. Is it a good update? Is it bad? Let me know. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I will see y'all in the next one.